Good morning, good afternoon to wherever you are. My name is Joachim Fetzer. I'm Chief Technology and Innovation Officer of Marelli Corporation. I want to talk to you about towards a global software organization, insights from Marelli. Marelli is a global tier 1 automotive supplier with about 10.6 billion euro revenue, 170 locations globally, and 54,000 employees worldwide. The agenda of my presentation is I want to start with automotive trends and case adoption. Then I would like to talk why software and electronic architecture matter and how to win the race. Then about trends in automotive electronics and software. And then I would like to come to the core part of my presentation towards an automotive software culture at Marelli. And I would like to finish or close my presentation with a brief outlook. Let me start with a short overview about global automotive trends and the case adoption. Case, connected, automated, shared, and electric vehicles. What are the trends we are seeing? On one side, we see regulation, and on the other side, cost reduction driving the acceleration of mobility or the proliferation of electric vehicles. Another big trend is consumers are accepting new mobility solutions, new mobility models. So customers lean more towards non-ownership based models. In other words, sharing a car, renting a car instead of owning a car. And there is what we can observe around the cities or the urban areas globally, in developed as well as in emerging markets, there is a greener attitude, a shift towards electromobility and micromobility in the big cities or bigger cities. And the third trend is technology disruption and the availability of technology. Autonomous driving. 60% of the top 20 OEMs are planning to have some form of automated vehicle or autonomous vehicle on a level 4 in 2025. That's their target. Electrification. We see a fast improvement in technology and a quick pace in cost improvements or in cost down, especially in battery technology. And last but not least, connectivity. Software becomes the key technology differentiator for cars and a big challenge for OEMs as well as for tier 1s. So these automotive trends will keep pushing software to the forefront, to the center of the activities of tier 1s and OEMs. And there we can expect a transition to a software-centric ecosystem, which is accelerating. So software is now or will be very soon the core know-how for many tier 1s. Now to the question why software and electronic architecture matter for OEMs as well as, and very important, for tier 1s and how to win the race. As I already mentioned, there are significantly changing customer needs, and all these needs are based on software, on the availability of the right software technology, of the right software products. And this is a fundamental challenge for OEMs. All the features which are really driving the future car are software-based. So software makes a difference for customers, based on for the user experience, for the availability of services. Software is the key enabler for all case technologies. And case has a strong implication or will induce significant or strong changes in the vehicle's electronic architecture and the respective software. But not only the feature side is affected, also the financial side is affected, or the financial situation is very much determined on the capability of developing software. There is a big difference between the top and the bottom performers regarding software, and this defines or determines competitiveness. Productivity difference is about a factor of 2.7 different between top and bottom performers. Development throughput 3.4 between top and bottom performer as a difference or a gap. And for quality, it's even worse. That between top and bottom performers, there is a factor of 5 of difference. So software is really defining who will win the race from a feature point of view, as well as from a financial point of view. So it's a major challenge for the tier 1. So the question is, for us, as Marelli, what are we doing? What is Marelli doing? Before I give an answer to this, I would like to talk a little bit about the automotive electronic trends and then a few words about software trends. The trends in automotive electronics is we will see a centralized electronic architecture with central high-performance computing units, 2 or 3, at least 2 to have a certain level of redundancy in the core, a high-speed network, zonal computers, and a scalable architecture. And this shift in electronic architecture to central and zonal computers is changing really the existing business model for hardware suppliers and software suppliers to separate hardware suppliers and software suppliers. No longer hardware and software intertwined and supplied by one, but hardware and software will be sourced, will be developed in the future independently, like we see it in IT, or we are experiencing now as an emerging technology in telecom industry. What are the trends in automotive software? One slide to this one. There is a clear shift towards an IT-oriented technology and architecture patterns. Today, automotive industry, or in the past 20 years, automotive industry was an embedded software, an embedded electronic software industry. Software was hardware tailored, so tailored to fit the needs or the requirements of the hardware to optimize, to reduce hardware costs. But in the future, software costs or the cost developing software are much more important. So we will go to what we can see on the right side to hardware abstraction. So we will separate hardware from software. In the past, optimizing the software for performance in a given embedded environment was the core. In the future, optimizing the software for reuse, having software as an asset which can be continuously developed, improved, is the paradigm, the new paradigm. Software was proprietary, and in the future, and including the development environment, in the future we will see standard tooling environment and also more and more open source software to be used. The dominating development model in automotive industry in the past 20 years or in the past 15 years, emerging and established was the V model. Today, automotive industry is following the path of IT industry to agile and Scrum. So there is a big change in the way automotive industry has been developing and will now develop software, because software is the core, is the center of automotive development, of automotive design, and this will cause that new methods, new ideas, and for automotive industry at least, new ideas will be applied. So we will change automotive industry more towards IT industry on the ideas already evolved, already implemented and strongly evolving in the IT industry. Now let me come to the core part of my presentation. What is Marelli doing to handle these challenges, to give an appropriate and good answer? So what we are doing towards an automotive software culture at Marelli. First, our first topic is we want to transform the business and secure competitiveness. So we have defined a global software strategy, global software architectures for our different business lines, product and technology roadmaps, which are defining targets and direction. Software is now the quality standard for our software-based products. So software is the core part to ensure quality. We want to become excellent. And becoming a software-driven, a software-based company requires company-wide adjustments. So everything is under review. Marelli is setting up a polycentric product design approach and a respective leadership organization in which we will have a strong foothold, a strong focus on emerging markets. And one of our core targets is strengthening our focus on reverse innovation. So bringing innovation from emerging markets to the developed markets. And Marelli is building up, for sure, also new business models, which are based on the software, based on the software driven car. As I already mentioned, all relevant features of the car of the future are software based. And therefore, our business models have to adopt to this development. Then next topic, or the next important element, is executing the change towards our software-based company. So we are rethinking our global locations, where we are, where do we develop, where do we produce, but most important, where do we develop? The staffing, the incentives, and also reporting structures. And we are setting up innovation R&D teams who are really focusing on the innovation with appropriate headcounts and ensuring a high flexibility, a high speed, and initiative, as well as a focus, as I already mentioned, on reverse innovation. Core part is appropriate reporting structure. So we are also working on adapting and changing our reporting structures in the appropriate way. And we want to choose innovation leaders for reverse innovation teams without conflicting interests and targets, so that they really can focus on reverse innovation for software-based products. And to realize that change, communication is at the center, is at the core, because only with communication, with involving everybody, we can bring our company towards a software-based company. So the communication is the essential element of successfully leading the change. We have to create, and we are already creating, a new narrative of where Marelli is going in general, and in particular regarding software. And this narrative is told, is propagated around the company by all the leaders to bring the narrative to life. And we do and work on the rebranding of Marelli's future as a software and a technology company. So Marelli wants to be a software, wants to be recognized being a software and a technology company, not a component supplier or system supplier. We want to be a software and technology company, this is part of the narrative I already was talking about. And we are shifting more R&D power and decision-making to emerging markets to foster the spread of the new narrative and the rebranding of Marelli. Now, what are we doing to achieve this on the organizational side? So our software organization is excelling in 4 areas. The one and most important, or the most important one, is talent and skill set. That's the top priority. We are optimizing and improving our development process. We strengthen our development environment, our development tool chain around simulation, digital twins, and validation, and we are enhancing our computing capabilities. On this slide, you see a few more details. Let me talk about talent and skill management, or skill set improvement, as top priority. Talent management, leadership development. We want to create a company which is embracing a learning culture to adapt quickly to the quickly emerging software technology. We will upskill the company using and offering massive online courses. We are building up a Marelli R&D software center in India, and to complement that, we are working with world-leading engineering service providers in the software area. Development process, I already mentioned, focuses towards agile development, implementing systems engineering, and focusing on reverse innovation. Simulation and validation from a tool chain basis or tool chain system based on a cloud computing environment is at the core. To have the right tool chain available to work globally, internally, but also with our suppliers and with our customers at the same time on the same project, having the digital twin principle applied everywhere for all our products. And we need a strong integration and build that up for testing, including the simulation. And for sure, we are enhancing our computing capabilities by building up or improving our cloud infrastructure internally, externally, and improving our computing capabilities, especially towards ADAS products. So in a nutshell, talent management, the attraction, the retaining, the development, and the motivation of talent, that's our top priority. With this, I would like to come to the end of my presentation and finish with a short outlook. What we are seeing, what is influencing automotive industry, what is influencing the whole world, are big trends. Globalization, which has been the dominant force of development for the global economy in the last 20, 30 years. It may come to an end, or it's changing, it's slowing. So some people call globalization or slowbalization. And what we also can see in the last 3 to 5 years, there is a technology divide emerging between China and the rest of the world, which is also feedbacking to the globalization or slowbalization. And these forces, these geopolitical forces, are influencing our industry. They are influencing the whole world, but also our automotive industry. The automotive industry is a very globalized industry. And this will influence, most probably, the transformation of automotive industry to a software-based and software-driven industry. This is for sure. The question is here now, how will it influence? What will we see? Do we see in the future two technology stacks, one for China, one for the rest of the world? Is there one? All this we will see coming and evolving in the years ahead. And I'm very sure on the other side, automotive industry will change to a software-driven, to a software-based industry. With this, I would like to thank you very much for your attention, for giving me the time to present my ideas, my thoughts to you. And now I'm looking very much forward to the Q&A session, receiving your questions, and I hope for a lively debate. Thank you very much.